Welcome to British Institute. We're going to see all the personal pronouns in Spanish. So what is a pronoun? It's just a word that we use to talk about someone without actually mentioning them. Instead of saying Sarah lives in Las Vegas, I can say she lives in Las Vegas, and she is the pronoun. So in this video, we're going to see specifically the pronouns that go in the subject position. As a reminder, the subject of a sentence is the one doing the action. If we say Sarah calls Peter, Sarah is the subject because she is the one calling. So we're going to have different pronouns for the different grammatical persons. And both in English and in Spanish, we're going to have 6 grammatical persons. 3 singular ones for one person and 3 plural ones for more than one. So let's take a look at the personal pronouns. First person singular. In English, that's I, the person speaking. I am the person speaking in this case. In Spanish, it's going to be yo. Can you say it with me? Yo. Perfect. Second person singular. That's you in English. In Spanish, that's going to be tú. Can you say it with me? Tú. Perfect. Third person singular. We have 2 of them in English. He for male, she for female. Same thing in Spanish. Él for he, ella for she. And be careful with this ella. 2 L's sound like this, ella. So can you say these 2 with me? Él, ella. Perfect. First person plural. That means me and more people. And in English, that's we. In Spanish, we're going to have 2 of them. Nosotros for male and nosotras for female. Can you say them with me? Nosotros, nosotras. Perfect. Second person plural. That means you and more people. So in English, this is also you. Like you can be singular, you one person, or plural, you and more people. In Spanish, we have 2 for singular. We saw that one earlier. But for plural, for talking about you and more people, we're going to have these 2. Vosotros for male and vosotras for female. Can you say them with me? Vosotros, vosotras. Perfect. And the last one, third person plural. In English, that's they. In Spanish, we have 2 of them for male and female, respectively. Ellos and ellas. Again, be careful with the double L. Can you say them with me? Ellos, ellas. Perfect. So what about the pronoun it? In English, we sometimes mention that pronoun when talking about third person singular pronouns. We say that we have he, she, and it. And we use it for pets or for things. In Spanish, we don't really have one. For our pets, we just say él or ella. And for things, we usually just omit the pronoun and use the verb directly. So all the plural pronouns in Spanish, the ones for we, you plural, and they, have gender in Spanish. For we can say nosotros or we can say nosotras. But what if the group of people has both males and females? Well, traditionally then in that case, we use the masculine as the gender-neutral pronoun. That said, you can use different formulas to try to be more inclusive. You could say nosotros y nosotras. You can also spell nosotros, but swap the O for the at sign, which is kind of a mix between an O and an A. People sometimes do this in writing. You obviously cannot say this. And then also in writing, it's common to say nosotros/us. So in Spanish, we also have 2 extra second person pronouns that have a formal connotation to them. We use these formal pronouns with other people or with people we've just met, or a lot of times in professional settings. So we have a second person singular one, and that one is usted, and a second person plural one, ustedes. Can you say them with me? Usted, ustedes. Perfect. So when you use these formal pronouns with verbs, we are going to conjugate them in the third person. So usted, even though it means you, same thing as tú, it's going to take the conjugations for he and she. And ustedes, even though it means you plural, you and more people, it's going to take the conjugation for they, for ellos or ellas. Why is that? Well, it's just because it comes from an old courtesy formula, vuestra merced, which means your mercy. And your mercy is kind of a third person concept. So usted means you, but it gets conjugated as if it was he or she. And ustedes means you plural, you and more people, but it gets conjugated as if it was they. So that's all I have to say about pronouns. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one.